Hey everyone, Leon Gregory here from Brookfield, Wisconsin. And tonight was the start of football season. Um, and I don't mean that little round and white and black ball you kick around and try to put into a goal, and after 60 minutes, maybe the score is 1-0. I'm talking about American football, and here in Wisconsin, we're diehard Green Bay Packer fans. And, tonight they had their family night open scrimmage in Lambeau Field, the frozen tundra, the shrine of football. It has many names. It's a place where it's quite the experience to go to a game. In fact, they were talking tonight that it's ranked number one in all the sports: football, basketball, hockey, any of them. It's the number one fan experience to be able to go to a Green Bay Packer game in Lambeau Field. Well, made some additions to the field, and now they can sit 80,000 people in the stadium, and they had to do it. They just had to. They can fit more in Lambeau Field now than Dallas can in their brand new stadium with the fancy TV and everything. And tonight was just a scrimmage, and they had over 65,000 people show up for just a scrimmage. And how awesome is that? Green Bay Packers are like a religion here in Wisconsin, and life stops on game day. Even tonight, Tammy and I and my wife, I love her to death, and she bleeds green and gold, and that. She's really into the game of football, and uh, she's a Packer fan to no end, and game day she gets all dressed up in her game jersey and Green Bay Packer pants and slippers and everything, and we have to. The cats usually run and hide because she's into the game. She's cheering. Wow, man, she's just going nuts, and yeah, and it was funny in our younger years when we had different neighbors across the street. It was funny as hell because you could hear him cheering. You could stand in the middle of the road between our houses. And you could hear him and you could hear her hollering at the TV and everything else. It's fun watching a game with her, and the Packers have been around since 1921, and they've been in the same city since then. No, not too many professional teams can say that. And the other thing that makes Green Bay Packers unusual is they're publicly owned. That's right, they're owned by us, the people. When they've done renovations like they did this time, they went out and they did it once before too, where they went out and sold stock options for $250. You could buy a piece of paper that said you are owner of the Green Bay Packers. You didn't have no voting rights, and it wasn't worth anything. But you do get to go to the owners' meeting once a year. So I guess that's kind of neat. But to be able to put it up on a wall and say, "Hey, I own a professional football team," and that makes us rather unique in that way too. Lambeau Field is quite the experience to go watch a game at. I have a very good friend who's got season tickets, and he's taken me to quite a few games, and I've always enjoyed them because it's such a different experience. You walk out onto this field, and you're walking into a shrine of football, and at all the greats that have played there, and and the field itself hasn't really changed. The stadium around it has, but the field is still the same football field that the 1960 Packers played on when Lombardi coached us, and that's how far back I go. I've been a Packer fan since the Lombardi years, and I was a fan too when they stunk, and they stunk for quite a few years. Um, and but my most favorite game, I've seen some good games there, but my most favorite game is when my wife Tammy got to go and experience a regular season game in Lambeau Field. Seating in Lambeau Field is not, you don't have the stadium chairs at the armrest and everything. Heck no, they got aluminum bleachers, and you crowd yourself in, and you got this little spot where your butt just barely fits in. And and you hope that you don't have some 400-pound guy next to you, But makes it a cozy atmosphere, especially on the cold days when the frozen tundra is alive. And you get all the body warmth and everything, and and you get warmed up by all the whiskey and brandy that everybody else is drinking, and uh, and it's quite the experience. The other thing about the Packers is that they are one of the few that have their own Hall of Fame, and that so many greats have played in Lambeau that they got a huge Hall of Fame. And today we found out that the 12th Packer from the Lombardi years, and that was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Dave Robinson got inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I tell you what, Lombardi's teams, just about everybody on that team could be in the Hall of Fame. Um, and most of them all are in the Green Bay Packer Hall of Fame. So if this is something that you'd really like to experience, and because people come from worldwide to visit Lambeau Field, all year long they visit it, and during the summertime you get tours of the field, tours of the locker room, all kinds of neat stuff like that. And we've been to the Hall of Fame, and it's quite the experience. So if this is something that interests you, or maybe you have your own favorite team that you would like to go see, whatever team it is. Do you have a way that, are you interested in season tickets for Green Bay Packers? That's an impossibility. If you get on the waiting list now, it's going to be probably another 25 years before your name even comes to the top. A lot of these tickets and that they're given out when a person dies. They're in their will who they go to next in the family. you know, and it's been that way for years and years, decades. You know, um, but maybe you have your own favorite team, and that's great. Maybe you got your own favorite sport that you'd like to go watch. Maybe it's baseball, or maybe it is soccer. I don't know. But do you have a way that you can afford those tickets? Well, I can help you do that. Click on a link in my description below. It'll take you to a video. Watch that video. It'll give you an opportunity, give you a platform to where you stand a chance to make some money. I make no guarantees. Results may vary, and I'm going to have our income disclosure down there too. So I'd like to wish everybody a good night, and go Packers!